Today we have Arthur Costa, who is the cinematographer and actor of Rise of the Underdog and editor. He is also known by Art. Hi, Art.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you so much for coming in today. So how excited are you for this movie?
Yes, I'm super excited. It's been a long time in the making, and now to see coming out to the cinemas, it's going to be amazing.
How long was the shoot in total?
So basically, shooting days was around 28,
Mhm.
and then it took us, I would say, a year in post-production because I did the editing as well. So me and Mac, we did the editing together, and that took us a bit of time just to get all the 28 days together and then compile in the actual an hour and a half film. And so we did a premiere a year later. So after we did the editing, we had a little premiere just for cast crew and close friends. And then now another year later, because we had a 1 year running on festivals. So we have 8 awards. And now we're gonna release to the cinemas. So it's been probably 2 years, the whole making of it. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? People
Yeah.
don't realize what goes into a film, hey?
No, they don't. That's a lot that goes into a film, not just the making of it, but also the post-production part of it. So yeah, it takes a long time.
So what was the planning process like? Did you storyboard?
So the way Mac and I work together, we usually just talk about it. So Mac has the vision, so he has the whole story, and then he passes it on to me and then says, okay, this is the idea, and this is how I envision it. And we just usually shoot. We don't actually storyboard or anything. So we have the loose idea how we want to shoot it. But then when we come to the set, that's when we actually roll everything and the ideas just come to life. So we don't really pre-plan much, but we do have a plan in how we're gonna shoot it, but then it just organically happens and it just morphs when we are on set. So that's usually how we roll.
Wow, so
Yeah.
no shot list.
No shot list, no nothing. So it's basically that freedom is what gives me the buzz when I'm on set because I'm like, okay, now I can play. I can get the camera and just look at something, okay, that looks good, or so I don't have anything that I have to follow per se. Like I have the idea that comes from the director, but then I can have the freedom to play with the camera.
But are the producers, they're not like tapping on you going, okay, we need time here? Like, are they, how do you feel with that? Because obviously if you're in
hmm
a moment and you're freeing and you're flowing freely,
hmm
you've always also got the timekeepers going, okay, we've only got so much time in this location. How do you deal
Yeah,
with that?
sure. So basically, yeah, we have like a pre-plan, like I mentioned before, and we know how much time we have. So in between that time, we know how much freedom we have to play. So I already know the shots that are very necessary for the film, for the story. But then if we have more freedom to play, then we play as well with different shots or different angles.
Yeah.
But I'd sort of pre-edit in my head what I need, and then we organize the shots. Okay, so we need a wide, we need a medium, we need a close-up. So once we get all those, then we can play around and see what else we can get.
Okay, awesome. So you're like, we'll stick to the rules first and then we'll have some
Yeah,
playtime.
so we have the rules, but we break the rules.
I love that. As a cinematographer, you have to really get on the same page as your director. Do you feel like you and Mac have that synergy between you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely, because we have been working together for years now. So it's not the first project that we're on. It's the first feature film that I shoot with Mac, but not the first project. But the synergy that we have is really unique because we understand each other pretty well. And sometimes we don't even have to say things. We just look at each other on set and like, okay, yeah, go, done. So we know what to do. I would say I'm a kind of a translator for his vision because I have to pull that idea from his mind through the lens in the camera. So that's usually the workflow is the vision of the director, then comes to me, the director of photography, and then I tell the crew, this is what we need. But usually me and Mac, we don't storyboard or anything, so we just have the idea and just go for it.
Wow, that's so unique. And I
Yeah,
think a lot of people out there would be like completely fearful of what you've just said.
yeah.
How long have you been working with Vision Pictures?
So I've been working with Mac Vision Pictures for the past 3 years, I would say constantly like full-time work. But I've met Mac about 8 years ago and we've done like a few different jobs here and there. But I was also doing something else at the meantime and just doing different jobs as well. But for the past, I'd say 3 years, we have been working full on together, yeah. And it's been incredible, it's been amazing.
Wow, and it just shows, I mean, these things that you're producing right now, it's a testament to the relationship that you have with him. So that's
Absolutely, yeah.
amazing.
And it all comes to the relationship for sure, because if you want to, work together and have a good time and enjoy, you have to have that relationship. And me and Mac, we work really well together, and we are very good friends. So.
Wow, that's awesome to hear. Do you have any movies or cinematographers that influence your work in any way?
That's a tricky question. Usually when people ask me that question, I don't really have an answer because I first started as an actor. So that's how I started in the industry. And I love acting. I still do acting. And that's usually my first pick, my first option. But then because I did acting, I started looking at cinematography because they work together. And knowing the tools and knowing everything that's happening behind the camera also helps as an actor. So that's how I decided to go for cinematography as well, to learn the process of everything. And I don't really have anyone that I look up to or that I reference or anything. It's more of everything that I have watched so far and all the things that I usually research and just have a look how things are made. For example, how they shoot wide angles, how they shoot close-ups and things like that. So I do a lot of research myself, but not anyone specific in that way. So usually it's a combination of everything that I've learned and everything that I have experienced.
So everything that fits into your vision.
Yeah, so I like to put my own flair to it. So I know the rules, so I know what's good, what looks good, but usually I like to have my own creativity, my own input when I'm on set. And that's why as well, we don't usually have a storyboard, because then whenever we're on set, the creativity just comes and it just flows.
Wow. It's such a trusting process that is.
Yeah.
And you really have to have, I think, inner trust and also trust in the people that you're working with.
Absolutely.
And it really seems like you do have that.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about any shots that were challenging or spontaneous in the moment?
There were a lot of shots that were spontaneous, that's for sure. Especially the way we roll, it's very organic. So a lot of shots, they were quite difficult, to be honest. They were not that easy because I was not only doing the camera, the cinematography, I was also pulling focus and trying to see the light as well. I had a very good friend of ours, Daniel, helping with the light, but some of the shots, they were just natural light or practical light. So I was just trying to work around what we had. And one of the shots specifically that was very difficult was on the beach. So basically there was no light at all, it was just the moon. It was a night shot. And being a night shot, it's a very dark shot as well. And Mac literally just told me, okay, I have an idea. I was like, what is it? And then he said, okay, just follow me. I'm gonna run to the beach. I'm gonna just, do my thing, and you just get whatever you can. I was like, okay, I'll trust you. I'll follow you. And literally when he went across the road to the beach, he just started running. And I was holding the big camera, trying to pull the focus manually. No light, I couldn't even see much what I was doing. So that was very challenging. And he was running, he was stomping around. He was like, I don't know, he was just in the goal, like he was going for it. And I was with the camera, trying to capture everything that's happening, the emotions, and focusing and trying to see where the light was coming from. And so basically I was trying to do 10 jobs at once with no plan, with nothing, and literally just being in the moment. And we ended up getting the shot, and actually looks amazing. And I was very, very proud of it because it's one of the best shots in the movie, in my opinion, in terms of the lighting, how it looks, even though there was just the moon, but just the colors that was coming because of the sunset. And yeah, just the emotion of the scene as well, because he was just screaming and going for it. He went, there was like birds coming and the waves, and it was just incredible. And that's just organic, like you can't pre-plan that.
Amazing. Yeah. And what was the scene in the movie that was happening at that point?
So at that point, I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but he was having a nightmare, and then he just ran to the beach to just get that energy out and just scream. And yeah, so it was a very powerful scene, and that was very difficult to shoot, but he ended up being really good.
Wow, we'll have to see what that nightmare really was.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you have a lovely feature in the movie. Was it fun to get in front of the camera after all that time behind?
Yeah, I love doing acting. That's my passion. So having a little part there was, it was great, because not just helping the production behind the camera, but having a little part and creating the story together. That was really good. It was really fun. And it was something that I didn't expect, really. But then Mac was like, oh, do you want to just play that role. I said, yeah, why not? Have fun for 5 minutes on camera as well. So yeah, it was.
And it was a fun role.
Yeah.
It's a very comedic role, actually.
Yeah, it was fun because when we had the premiere as well, all the friends and people watching, they were having a laugh, and that really got me excited for people to watch and have fun as well.
Exactly. Amazing. What was your favorite part about shooting this movie?
What I enjoy about different projects is all the different people that you meet, so the connections that you make and the networking and sharing that experience as well, that energy with everyone. So that for me, I think it's one of the best things when you are working a project. And like the story is great and working is great. I love what I do, but I feel like the connections that you make, they last for a long time, and that's usually a good take from the projects that I do.
What would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned in the industry?
In this industry, I mean that's something that I take from my whole life, which is being kind to other people, because we're all doing something together towards a goal. Specifically in this industry, you're trying to tell a story, you're creating a film or whatever the project is. So when you all come together, putting the energy together, I think if you're not kind, if you're not, sharing a good space with people, then people are not going to be, likely to be around you. And that's usually my goal. It's like just give what you want to receive. So when I'm on set, I like to be kind. I like to treat people in the same way. So it doesn't matter what they're doing, what their role is, but they're all people. They're all human beings sharing that experience. So it's being kind to everyone and just, keeping everything running smoothly. And even though we are working, we're still having fun together. So for me, it's that, yeah, that community aspect of the industry.
Yeah, yeah. And that's an important message, really, because you are in such an intense situation and a lot of your raw and vulnerable parts can come out in those moments. And it is a really good reminder for you to stay kind.
100%, because it can be very challenging. It can be very draining. It's long hours. What people maybe out of the industry don't know is that are very long hours when you are working a project. And sometimes you're doing 10, 12, 15 hours a day. And you just, your energy is just going. So you need to make sure that, everyone is well and being treated nicely.
Yeah, but everyone's balanced and aligned and everyone's all feeling good about themselves. And
Yeah,
I imagine so, yeah. In this industry, it can be quite intense with long hours and days and months on end. How do you manage your work life with your personal life?
It is challenging sometimes, especially when you have a big project like a feature film that you're shooting for maybe 2 months. And sometimes it can be very draining, like I mentioned before, about the hours that can be very long. But I try to balance as well with my lifestyle, having a healthy lifestyle. And also I have a lot of help from my partner because she helps me to ground when I go back home and then have that nurturing feeling with my partner as well. And just having that support, which is very important because it can be very, very challenging when you go back home and you are tired and you're not up to anything really, but then you have someone there to support you and to, say everything will be okay. So yeah, I'm very, very happy and grateful that I have my partner with me.
That's beautiful. Do you relate personally to the underdog story that is continued throughout this film?
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone has a little bit of an underdog story. And I would say for me, specifically, I came from Brazil to Australia in 2015. And it was a big shift, it was a big move for me to come to a different place, different language, and have to build everything from scratch. So I definitely consider myself an underdog in that way, and I just hustle. That's what I do. So underdogs, they hustle.
I know you've touched on it already before, but can you talk a little bit about maybe a specific shot and the choices you made within that shot?
Basically, like I said, I feel like I'm a translator for the vision. So my mind works sort of like a computer, getting that vision from the director and trying to show that through the lens. I like a lot of the scenes that we did, a lot of the lighting and the way we created the environment. We had amazing people working with us. So the art department, lighting crew that helped as well. So it all helps to bring that vision to life. It's not just a one-person job. So me as a cinematographer, I can't just take credit for how it looks because it's the whole team that make it look like, a perfect scene. So you get the perfect location, you get the art department, the costume and everything. So everything comes together. And me as a cinematographer, I'm not painting the picture, I'm framing what's in there. So that's usually my vision, is to see what's in there and try to find the beauty, like how it's going to translate that through the lens.
That's a really great way to put it. I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to distinguish the roles on set, and I think that's a wonderful way of describing exactly what a cinematographer is. What's your favorite genre to shoot?
It's always difficult to say favorites because I don't have favorites. As a creative, I would say that I enjoy a lot of different things, either comedy, action, adventure. I don't think I have a favorite per se, but I do enjoy telling good stories and stories that feel good. So I'm not into horror, I'm not into all that kind of stuff. So I'd love to be shooting more stuff which is just like good feeling, good heartfelt stories. And that's one thing that I enjoy working with Mack, is because that's his passion as well. So we have a very similar way of looking at life, and we want to tell good stories, and we want to show people stories that when they go and watch it, they feel good about it and they talk about it later. And it's something that they can share that experience.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you on camera as well as off camera.
Thank you. No, I had a great time. Thanks for the questions. And yeah, I'm excited for what's coming next.
Amazing. Remember, guys, Rise of the Underdogs is in cinemas November 6th.